Lesson 8.1b, Problems Involving Scale. The first definition we have is scale. Scale is just a ratio between two sets of measurements. Next, we have scale drawing. A scale drawing is proportional. It is a proportional 2D drawing of an object, such as a blueprint. Then a scaled model is like a scaled drawing. It is proportional. It is a proportional 3D model of an object, such as a model car. Last, we have scale factor, which we do talk about a lot in 7th grade. Scale factor is just a ratio of an actual figure or drawing to a drawing or a model. So it's taking the actual figure and comparing it to the model. Example 1, identify the scale factor. So we've got the length and height of a race car and the model car in inches. We're going to use the length or the height to find the scale factor because they're going to both have the same scale factor. So what I like to do is compare the smaller version, the model, to the actual. And we're going to just set this up in a little ratio. A ratio can be written as a fraction. So we have the model compared to the actual race car. And I'm going to use their lengths. It does not matter if I use the lengths or if I use the heights. So I'm going to use length. The length of the model is 11 inches. The length of the race car, which is the actual object, is 132 inches. And we're just going to reduce this fraction. I do want my top number to be a 1. So to do that, I'm going to divide by 11 because I know that's going to give me 1. So I'm going to divide the denominator, 132, by 11, and it happens to be exactly 12. So that's our scale factor. The model is 1/12 the size of the race car. So the scale factor is 1/12. Example 2, a photograph of a painting is 5.4 centimeters by 4 centimeters. The scale factor is 1/15. Find the size of the actual painting. So in this case, we're going to use our scale factor. It's going to compare the smaller object to the real life-sized object. So it's going to compare the photo, which is the smaller object, to the painting, which is what we're trying to find the actual size of. And we know that that is a scale factor of 1/15. So I'm going to use that fraction in a proportion, and we're going to do this 2 times. First, we're going to find one of the sides. It's just giving you 5.4 centimeters by 4 centimeters. I'm going to use length and width. So here's my first proportion. I'm going to find length. That is the photo's size, which is 5.4 centimeters, over the painting's size, which is unknown, we'll use L for length, is equal to the photo size of 1 compared to the painting size of 15. That's coming from our scale factor. And we just go through and cross multiply. We're just solving a proportion. Length times 1, or 1 times L, is just L, the length, which is what we're trying to find. And then 5.4 times 15 is 81. So the length is 81 centimeters. Now let's find the width. We will use the same process. This time, we know that the width of the photo was 4 centimeters, and we don't know the width of the actual painting. But we do have our scale 1 to 15. So once again, we're just going to cross multiply to solve this little proportion. W times 1 is just W. We could call it 1W, but we don't write our 1, it's just invisible there. And then 4 times 15 is 60. And so we've got the length by itself, we've got the width by itself. The width is 60 centimeters. So to answer the question, the painting, we're just looking for the size of it, is 81 centimeters by 60 centimeters. And we have answered our question. Example 3. On a map of Mississippi, the distance between Tupelo and Natchez is 7.5 inches. The map scale is 1.5 inches for every 50 miles. What is the actual distance between these two cities? So first of all, I want you to notice this little symbol here, this colon between 1.5 inches and 50 miles. That is just another way of writing a ratio. It is the same thing as writing 1.5 over 50. It's just written in a different way. And this is also a very common kind of problem. We're looking at a map, and a map's going to have something drawn to scale. It's not going to be the actual size of a distance along many miles apart. So let's look at our scale. Our scale is going to compare the map to the actual miles. The map is in inches. The actual distance is measured in miles. So I'm going to set up a proportion. I'm going to start with my scale, 1.5 inches for every 50 miles. And then I'm going to look at the information that I have. I have that it is 7.5 inches on a map. So I'm going to plug in that here for the map, 7.5. I want to know what is the actual distance between these two cities. So that's my unknown. I'll just call it D for distance. So now we just have a proportion to solve. I'm going to cross multiply. 50 times 7.5 is 375. And then 1.5 times D is 1.5D. We'll divide both sides by 1.5 to solve for that variable D. And we get D is 250. And so to answer the question, what is the actual distance? 250 miles. Example 4. The scale for a drawing of a playground is 1 inch equal 8 meters. What is the area of the actual playground? So to find the area, we need to know the length and width of the actual playground, and then we can multiply those to find the area of this rectangular playground. So let's start with finding what I'm going to call the length. So I'm going to start with the length. We're using the scale 1 to 8, which is inches compared to the meters. So the length of the drawing is 10 inches. We don't know the actual length in meters, so I'm just going to use L. I'm going to cross multiply. 10 times 8 is 80. 1 times L is L. And we've got the distance is, the length distance is 80 meters. Now let's find the width. We're going to use that same scale, 1 inch for every 8 meters. The width of the drawing is 6 inches. The width of the actual playground is unknown. We'll use W for our variable. So we're going to cross multiply. 6 times 8 is 48. 1 times W is just W. So we get 48 meters for the actual length. For the actual width. Now we need to find the area. To get the area, we have this little formula, A equal length times width, where the length is 80 times the width is 48. We're going to multiply that out. We can use our calculator, and I'm just going to type that in. 80 times 48, and I get 3,840, and that answer is 3,840 meters, and it is squared because we're dealing with an area.